Hey, check it out. It's February. It might be... we'll start that again. I can't remember how months work.
What, doing the passage of time? I forgot how the passage of time works.
It's Jew Bunsdery.
You motherfuckers. Right, everybody, today is the 25th of February, I guarantee it, and I know how months work. It might not still be February by the time you hear this, but we'll consider this the February Year of Shame X. Welcome, everybody, here. My name's Matthew Moore. With us, let's go anti-clockwise. Dave Southall.
Hello, good evening.
Legend, Neale Jarrett.
How we doing, chaps? Are we all right?
And bringing up the bottom right-hand corner of my screen is Mr. Joe Cooper.
Hello. Welcome.
Sinister.
Right, so we're in. We're in, people. Come on. Second full show. Second full show.
Yes.
We've had 2 months of the 10th Year of Shame.
Crikey.
I remember this time, well, one of the times last month when we recorded, we were sort of musing about, there's games coming out in February. Should we be worried about that? And I'm sure everyone was relatively chill about it. I'm sure there was another hot topic. People just wouldn't leave. But here we are, February. How we doing?
Hasn't it just been the hypest week in video game releases this week? Every single time I open Twitter, there's somebody raving about something in particular. It's crackers. Absolutely mental. And it's difficult when you're trying not to concentrate on buying video games that you would normally buy and not even play. It's terrible. But
Have
anyway,
you found yourself? I don't know if this is a question later, so might have to cut this. But have you found yourself looking at news or sites or anything less? I've gone completely the other way. I've just dove straight in to see what I'm missing.
Yeah. Just rubbing yourself up against the screen and sniffing them.
I'll give it a good licking.
Yeah. I think I've read more reviews than normal. Like, I've been reading a lot of, like, say, the Elden Ring reviews, which is something that I wouldn't normally do. I'd kind of scan and get the kind of Metacritic overscore, maybe, if it's something that piqued my interest. But I wouldn't normally give that many reviews the time of day I have in the last kind of week, 2 weeks or so of releases. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Is that because you're interested in the game, or because you want to justify not buying it? Maybe there'll be something really bad in there that I don't like. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it is. I don't know. Actually, it's difficult because maybe I'm kind of trying to justify to myself that actually, yeah, if you've read more reviews and you got, what's going on?
My chair just sort of broke.
I wouldn't have noticed if you'd not shouted sorry really loudly.
Professionals, just all so professional. It's like,
oh my god,
it's like watching someone at the top of their game presenting sort of worldwide coverage. It's so slick. Like I've not.
It's like watching Jimmy White snooker do a 147, isn't it? This is the 147 of fucking podcasts.
We're probably about as pissed as he was when he did it.
Yeah, I've swore again. This is ridiculous.
Hey,
that's at least 3.
Hey, Neil, would you have bought Elden Ring?
I think it's a big topic, but I think, do we want to open that kind of worms now? This early in the show? I think let's leave that. Let's park that to one side because it is something that I do want to talk about. It is one of the biggest game releases, not only this week, this month, this year. But yeah, I think we should park that to one side because there's some extra kind of onion rings around that. Onion peels, onion layers around
onion
that later.
Ring.
Yeah.
Is this if you collect packets from onion rings?
Yes, this is it.
Are we having this conversation again?
Yeah. No, let's not have this conversation again. No, it has been quite a difficult month. How have you found it then, Matt? I mean, have you been tempted by anything in the last couple of weeks?
I kind of have been, and I guess we'll talk about it. But I've been I've been now considering. So now I feel that I've sort of got on top of some of my shit, and we'll talk about me doing more progress, Joe, when it comes to my shit I need to sort out. I've started to consider, like, well, do you know what? I am going to buy a game this year, and it will be my Joker. Like, other than that, I'm just subscription services, and I'm sort of like, I'm enjoying this kind of like, well, what do I get, and when do I get it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, but the thing is, that's the thing. The scope is obviously quite large, and it is a big decision to make. Are you gonna set your sights on something in particular and just hold out, or are you gonna wait and get the kind of flavor? You see what the flavor of the month is. See if something like reviews, or there's an intake of friends playing a particular thing that's going to sway you, because that's what tends to be really when people play the Jokers. It's either something that they've had the heart and soul kind of pushed against on having for months, years, and they're like, yeah, I'm not having anything. I'm having that game. I've waited years for it, or it's like, I've cracked. Everybody else is playing this game. I want to play it as well. Do you think which one are you kind of trying to line yourself into more?
Well, more. Answer me.
Tell me about it more.
Well, as it happens, I think I may have already chosen, because I always thought to myself, and it's not really a new game, but I understand they've sorted out Cyberpunk 2077, whatever the fuck it's called lately. So there's a Series S. SKU, X's, PlayStation 5 versions. I took a dive into the Digital Foundry stuff, and it was like, look, it's an improvement all around. And if you're Series Xing it or your PlayStation 5ing it, you've got all the bells and all the whistles. But I was kind of keen to see, like, well, what's the Xbox Series S experience on it? Because originally it was just the Xbox One version would have been on it.
Yeah.
But by all accounts, it's got all those quality of life elements of the gameplay that they chose, and it generally runs better. And I've always considered getting it, and that's, I think I think I just want that. I wanted to wait for it to be ready, and now I've got because when I thought about playing it before I got the Series S, I was like, maybe I try. What's the streaming service?
Or like Stadia or
Stadia. Yes, I got the trial of Stadia, and I played Destiny. I was like, I clicked the button.
Please tell me you cancelled it. Tell me you cancelled it.
Yes, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
okay.
didn't.
Crikey.
That was one of my. I think that was the one. Joe, you'd have loved that. That'd have been another subscription to my belt. But
this is it.
That was my thinking. Like, I'd like to play Cyberpunk. I knew that I would get into that one day, and I think this year might be my time for Cyberpunk.
Awesome. I mean, like you say, they've done a lot. Obviously, the patch, the kind of 1.5, I think they've labelled it under, has meant to have done quite a bit. I've played a little bit. I've started a new game of that, kind of a new save of that, and I'll talk about it in a bit, and we'll come back to that, Matthew, because I think it is a good game. But if you want it to be similar to CD Projekt Red's previous games, if you want it to be like The Witcher or The Witcher 2, then it is different. It's a different kettle of fish. So my query and my questions to you would be, well, do you want to play it because that's what people are talking about, or do you like what it looks like in terms of first-person shooter, RPG elements? Because it's very, very RPG. But yeah, we'll come across that when we talk about what we've been playing in bits and bobs, and we'll loop back around to that, no problem. So what you've been playing, Joe?
This is a very similar story to last week. Just what you were saying before about, like, I've been reading loads more reviews because, like Matthew, I think I want to have one Joker. And most years, I spend most time spent playing on like 2 or 3 games. I reckon I probably hit 2 or 3 of them properly hard. I'm not quite Dave level. I'm quite quite chilled out when it comes to that. And if I'm going to play one, it better be the best game of the year. And Elden Ring is starting to shape up like that. But then earlier on, like, I was thinking about using my Joker on Pokemon Arceus, which, like, that is now rearview window. Don't care. I'll play it like I'm not going to gain anything about it. I'll play it another year.
You've made that decision, have you? Then
I'm amazed you tossed that out.
Yeah, it's gone.
Last month you were. I honestly thought that you were quite close to dropping on it.
No, well, I was because I wanted to play it with a mate, but I don't know. The only thing I could see myself going for Elden Ring, but then there's so many games that I've been late to the party for and still had so much out of them. Like, I've been late to the party to The Witcher 3. I think I played that a couple of years after everyone. The Last of Us, I played it for first, as I might have mentioned, on the PS4, like the remaster of it. And it still blew me away. It was still absolutely amazing. I think for most games, the time you play it isn't that important. There's the hype and the thing around it, but then,
yeah,
you know, you can still talk to someone and say, I'm playing this game, and they're instantly like, oh, I loved it. Like, you still get that sort of buzz and that connection from a year later.
I completely agree with you on this. I think it's becoming less important about when you play things, because there's like always a hardcore bunch that latch on and have to be first to finish it and race through it and so on, and then they forget about it and you never hear from it again. But I prefer to just, like, I don't know, play things when I feel like playing them, and it doesn't really matter who's playing it to me, unless it's a super co-op game.
But I think it comes under different classification when it comes to kind of Soulsborne games, doesn't it? Because there's such a reliance on people researching and YouTubing solutions to particular problems or dungeons or bosses.
Yeah, I have issues with that.
Yeah, but that's, you know, I mean, I'm coming from no experience of that whatsoever. Never done that before. But that's what a lot of people do, isn't it? They rely on the hard work that other people have put down to help them out. And if you jump in week 1, month 1, you've not got that as a safety blanket. So I think it does boil down to how you want to approach those games. I heard somebody on another podcast kind of make a good analogy of, like, they don't want to be the kind of archaeological. They want to be the kind of archaeological find after everybody else has done everything. They want to pick through and dust off exactly the bits and bobs, you know, and know and be able to cherry pick and kind of, rather than being just jump in head first and be lost at sea and be the adventurer kind of thing. So it's a different. It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, for those, because you don't have to play it when everyone else is playing it, but with a Souls game, you know, the longer you wait, the more support network is going to be there, I suppose.
With Bloodborne, I was very, very late to the party, so I played that well after. I think it wasn't. I bought it in a sale, I think. I didn't pay that much for it, and then it completely took over my life for a while. And I definitely get what you're saying. There were parts where, because I wasn't reading a guide all the way through, but if I'd spent a week trying to kill a massive wolf bugger and couldn't, like, I was looking at a strategy, not necessarily a video of him being killed, but like what am I doing wrong here? And you're not a pioneer then, are you? And at the same time, some of the, like, I know I've slagged off Destiny before, but some of the best moments of that are people trying to figure out what the hell is going on in those raids in the first week.
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
But then also, some of the worst times are people trying to figure out what the hell is going on in that raid in the first week.
Well, I think we did that. Neale,
yeah,
were you in the group? I'm pretty sure you were, when we did the Wrath of the Machine raid in Destiny 1.
I think that's how I met you, Dave, the first time.
Yeah, it could be.
It wasn't me, mate. It might be somebody who was just as good looking as I was.
But we did that. We were quite some time after, but we didn't look at spoilers and we worked it all out. I don't
satisfying,
think we
but
finished it.
frustrating.
But it was awesome. Yeah.
No, that wouldn't have been me. I've never completed a raid. I've done like the first 40 minutes or so until plenty of the fighting quit around me because of my incompetence. But so I've never actually done that. So no, that wouldn't have been me, mate. That would have been somebody else. But you know, that's the challenge of hard games, though, isn't it? You know, if you want to drag your nuts over broken glass.
I think what we're demonstrating here is everybody likes to play games differently. You might be playing the same thing, but you're playing them differently, especially with something like a Souls game. You've got an entire different character to someone else. How your build affects the play style completely differently. So somebody might be a complete tank with a sword and a shield, but somebody else might be an archer, or somebody else might be a mage, you know, staying away. And their game experiences are going to be quite different. And as well, I'm just going to say, when I was going on about spoilers and things like that, bear in mind I have played, you know, all of them since they came out, so my experience, it would be above somebody playing it from scratch, and they might need that help. They might need a pointer in the right direction. So yeah, I'm not trying to be snobby about that.
No, you can look at it that way.
Everybody plays differently.
It didn't come across that way, mate. Don't worry about it at all. No, don't worry about that. I forgot even what question we were.
I think it's still me saying what I've been playing, and I've evaded it, the whole thing. I'm still playing Hades. I'm still really enjoying it. I think I've got past the point, without any spoilers, I think I've got past the point that you decided it was finished, Matthew. I've achieved big objective 2 already, and I'm kind of going through towards big objective 3.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but do you consider yourself New Game Plus yet, or are you talking about like bosses essentially?
No. I haven't done the whole start a new save file, so I'm not trying to.
That was a thing.
No, but I am beyond New Game Plus.
Okay. It
And I've got
like
to the
you may
step,
have gone further.
There's an objective, right? When you start off, there's a single objective, and
Yeah.
then things change, and there's another objective. Without giving anything away at all, and speaking.
Maybe I didn't even get that far. It sounds like you've gone very deep into this game, Joe.
I'm now trying to become best mates with every single character.
Right, so
I'm kind of going for the platinum if there was a platinum on the Switch.
All right. If you're on a good run, how long's a good run to you? Can it a good 20 minutes, maybe?
Probably a bit slower than that, a bit longer, but it probably takes me a bit longer than that.
Isn't it nice though when you get one of them builds and you think, do you know what, this could work if I'm a bit.
I had one that was
if I'm a bit
brilliant.
fucking smart.
Recently, I had one that was brilliant. I was basically a glass annihilator, so I could hit and do so much damage. I could take out a boss in like 5 or 6 hits, but my hits took about 4 or 5 seconds to wind up. So it's like really, and it was great fun. I've now started. I'm trying to do a run on every weapon and a run on everything, and unlock all of, and it's still giving me dialogue with people that I'm finding interesting, and I'm like, how long is this going to go on for? Like, I'm going to get bored. This at some point.
This is all new dialogue. I'll take it.
Pretty much, like I've had one line that felt like it was a repetition of something someone had said before, but I'm not 100% sure that it wasn't just sounded the same as like. But apart from that, it all feels natural. It all feels like from what I've done, it makes, and it's really well written, isn't it?
And how long are you into it?
Yeah,
Joe,
it's got good stats, hasn't it? So yeah, what's your playtime?
I know I've done 135 run-throughs.
Joe, you're the mathematician. Don't look at us.
So I've attempted to get out 135 times, and some of them have been successful, some of them haven't. But I'm still like getting, and so the playtime must be around about hours and hours, loads of hours, tons of hours.
I'm just thinking, is this one that
probably 60 hours? It's probably 40 hours of playtime, I reckon.
Wait a minute, it's come from.
Yeah, no, I did another calculation. Sorry.
Okay, it's fine.
Joe, Matt, don't let Joe do your bills. You're gonna
when he's half a bottle of wine in, don't get him to do your bills. I'm all right on pencil and paper when I'm sober.
Swear jar.
But yeah, no, that's been good. I've also been playing a very different type of. I didn't mention this last time. The Animal Crossing update, which has been so relaxing. I've been quite with work and a bunch of other things. Been quite sort of on like doing loads and loads of stuff at the moment, like working 6 days a week and things a lot. And I've just had a week in theory off, but I've spent it writing a 7,000 word essay on whatever. So I've needed to unwind. Yeah, blue waffle.
Blue waffle.
I'm gonna Google it while you're telling the story.
The most relaxing game I've been playing is Paradise Planning on Animal Crossing, where you're just building someone's house, but it's like they've unlocked all of Animal Crossing for you, and you can do whatever you want in someone's house. And I'd spend an hour just making someone's house like a. I think I sent a message to Dave about Cthulhu's Domain. Like I made.
Yeah.
I made
that sort of like creative mode on Minecraft, say for instance, where you get presented with everything and you're just left to it, but it's got a goal. An NPC is saying, "Build me, I don't know, a disco room."
Yeah. It's definitely got that element. So it is an NPC will say, "Build me this," and there might be someone who already lives in your village. You've got 10 villagers there already. But someone will say, "Make me a house that has got a gym in it," but I also want it to be a jungle. So it's like literally, like a monkey will ask you to do this, and you'll build for Rocco the monkey a gym inside a jungle in his house. But it means that if you're doing that within the game or within your island, you've got to get so many things together. It's going to cost you loads and loads. But because you're doing it kind of as a contractor, you've got all the resources you need to do it. But it's also like you don't get points for it. You just do it, and then it's done. And then they tell you how brilliant you are. And it's very, very relaxing. And I'll sort of agonise over, well, would he want it in green so that it blends in with the jungle flooring I've given him and the things? Or would he want it in sort of bright purple so it stands out against the jungle background? And it's entirely for my own benefit. I'm playing this for me. It's 100% almost narcissistic. Like I'm not getting any points. I'm not getting any awards for it. I can share it with other people, I think, at some point. But I'm just really enjoying mucking about and making this tiny little monkey a gym in the middle of the jungle.
Have you had to build a basement for a serial killer or anything yet?
The closest I've got is that Cthulhu's Domain, which was give me something full of magical power, and you could put what looks like dead bodies and satanic circles in it. Which for a Nintendo game, I think I've just sort of it's a bit unexpected.
That sounds amazing. I want to. In fact, I've got a copy of Animal Crossing, which I've never played ever. I've never even started it.
It's entirely down to the timing, and I was completely like almost 100% casual style gamer about this. But when the first pandemic hit, the pair of us went to that island and set up. Like I bought that game at the start of sort of March 2020 when it came out, and it was so sort of not just relaxing, but like it was a genuine mental health help. Well, remember we couldn't leave the house for 6 months, so living on a desert island via little characters that. And I think it's partly because I'd played it before. I'd imported the GameCube version of it as a sort of when I was at uni and stuff like that. But just that sort of escape and being able to go to each other's houses and doing stuff like that. It's still got that special place in my heart, really. That is like
so Joe,
weird.
Right.
I think.
I don't know if this counts as a purchase, but I've got a capture card now, so I can capture Switch footage. Can we do through the keyhole to your Cthulhu house?
Well, it's owned by a purple frog, but yeah, absolutely. We'll have to get approval of the purple frog, but yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
Can we get Lloyd going, who lives in a house like this? It's such a weird voice, isn't he, Lloyd Grossman?
At least he's not Keith Lemon.
To be fair, no one would have thought the first impression I was going to do on this podcast was going to be Lloyd Grossman.
No.
Nobody took that back.
Have you seen that? Oh, this is very off topic, but have you seen the Vic Reeves' Big Night Out version of MasterChef with Lloyd Grossman with a massive light bulb?
Yeah. When he floats across with his own knife and fork on his finger.
I think you get lumpy
Who lives in a house like this?
I remember the
It's cake like a shoe. Shoe cake.
Cake like a shoe. Cake a shoe.
You're a fakey cake maker, and I ain't got time for you.
I listened to And Away, Bob Mortimer. Oh my, it's so good. Bob Mortimer's autobiography on Audible.
Yes, I've listened to it as well.
I
was quite moved by when he's talking about his childhood and his mum and stuff like that. It's just a very kind of hit a nerve.
But it's also so and being of the same age, we will have seen Vic and Bob as we were growing up, and there's a song in it about Lucky Carpet, and I remembered all the lyrics of that, having seen it at some point at a party years ago. And but I don't think Bob Mortimer can do no wrong in my eyes. Like he's just so everything he touches becomes a tiny bit more joyous. It's just
have you
amazing.
seen him on the?
Would I lie to you? Amazing.
Yeah, Would I lie to you? So yeah.
Yeah. The lie with the cracked egg in the bath is basically the stuff of gods and legends, isn't it?
Do you check out their podcast? Well, his podcast, Athletico Mints.
I used to listen to it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I've sort of recently not heard it for a while, but yeah, I've got quite a sort of passing relationship with football. Not a massive football fan. Used to when I was a kid, but like I feel like I know more about football from that podcast. Means I can have conversations with drunk people and befriend them. It's sort of giving me the insider information that I need about Pete Beardsley and his chicken wraps.
Love it. It's like that bit in the IT crowd, isn't it? Where fakes it. Anyway, back to
I was thinking
games.
about maybe we should add some sort of things like that into this podcast. Maybe do some little sketches Shigeru Miyamoto goes to get some meat.
He's back looking to buy some new flannels.
Peter Molyneux chooses. Oh God, I'll start that again.
Seashells down the seashore.
Cakey.
Cake shoe cake.
It's like a cake. It's like a shoe cake.
Booze foot baby. Booze foot baby. This is descended into Friday night is not an ideal night for this podcast.
See,
It's
the
the
thing
best
is,
night
I
for
think
this
it,
podcast.
it was. I think it was after. Was it after the last recording or the recording report before? I think I made a gesture with my hand on my forehead, and Matt said to me, he was like, "Oh, my wife's gonna kill me." Do you remember the Labrador?
It was the
that
dog.
popped up? Yeah. Oh, I've done it again.
I think it was on Gears and Beers.
Yeah. Well, like after that Gears and Beer session, where I said, "Oh, my wife," I went searching the entire internet for that clip, and it's nowhere. You can't find it.
No.
Yeah. Well, I can find it anyway.
Oh, what a classic! I've got that as well.
For the listeners,
Joe's
Joe's holding up. What is this? Shooting.
It's the
Stars.
Shooting Stars
Stars.
book from about 1996, I think, maybe 7.
Amazing. Well,
I don't know.
have you seen-
Vic Reeves has got a book of art and it's really weird. It's absolutely brilliant.
I follow. If you follow his account on Twitter for his art account, it is literally it's somebody's cracked open the mind of an actual mental genius, and just poured it onto page. Like he does very caricature kind of overemphasizing of features, but like to Robbins that look like Elvis and stuff like that. He's fantastic.
Have you ever seen
Definitely.
Some Boiled Onions? That's the book of his art that he's done. And it's
No.
we used to do it in sixth form, or sort of attempt a pale pastiche. Like it'll be Henry VIII relaxing as a Hoover, and that will be the thing that he's drawn.
Wow.
But like oil on canvas, like it's no messed around.
Yeah, he's put hours of his life into it. That's amazing.
Right, shall we?
So we come back to
head on
computer
to
games.
this chat.
Computer
Since
games,
We're
like.
only supposed to be on for an hour, and we've been on for.
We've got 25
most of
minutes
that.
left. So should we jump into a question from the community or something? Is there anybody? Should I grab one?
Excellent idea.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Why don't you ask Dave to do it?
Well, we might have a problem here.
Yay! Why is that, Dave? Just nip over to the Year of Shame Challenge Facebook group and just come and grab that first question for us, will you, mate?
Isn't Dave also an
I would
admin for
absolutely
Midlife
love to.
Gamer? Does that because he's such a sort of stand-up member of the community and well respected within Facebook.
Honestly,
he's
right
an
now,
admin on the Midlife Gamer, right?
We are one
Yes.
admin down.
Yes, he is.
We're an admin down.
Yeah.
Like, we're having to pull double shifts here just to fucking keep the lights on.
Keep
I would
the
imagine
peace.
Keep those
the Midlife
sunglasses
Gamer-
adverts out.
I would imagine
We
that
get-
the group has just burst into flames. There's people running around.
Loads of towel
Mate,
pictures.
honestly, there's loads of women in towels everywhere. It's fucking gross.
Everyone's wearing sunglasses.
Yeah. People are trying to sell me my own stuff. It's just weird. Come back, Dave. Why are you not there, Dave? Anyway, you've left me and poor bloody Adam Edwards and Spink on his own. Come on.
Well, what happened is somebody posted a question about they could get a Xbox Series X for 150 quid. Actually, no, they're much more pricey than that. So I replied I'd rip their arm off. At which point I immediately, I'm talking like within 10 seconds, got banned. Facebook banned me and told me that I was being violent and threatening.
Right. 2 questions straight off the bat. Was it 10 seconds later?
Literally, it
So
was. It's probably about 5 minutes.
All right. Okay. Well, fucking hell. There's a massive difference there for a starter.
No, it
Because
could
the
have
thing is,
been.
if it was that
I
quick,
got the warning.
they're either
in
watching
10
you-
seconds, and then I messaged you in the admin chat and went, "Oh, lads, have a look at this." And then by the time I
I'm in
went
bed.
to go back and edit my post or whatever, that's it. banned.
So this is the thing. This is my statement. Either if it was that quick, either Facebook are watching you and following every move you make. I mean, we all got that kind of, that paranoia anyway. But they're literally they're singling you out, or they're just watching your behaviour because you're sus.
I think Midlife Gamer is full of rats. They're all rats. They're all in Zuckerberg's pocket, and they're absolute rats.
They're looking for little fucking backhanders, aren't they?
I used to be Special Agent Cooper on Facebook, and someone, Special Agent Cooper, lives in Twin Peaks, and this was actually MLGX meetup, so supposed to be meeting Toby James, and Watley and a bunch of, and I told Toby I was going to get a hotel. Like, we'd sorted everything out, got a hotel sorted, but I hadn't given him any money or anything yet. We were sort of going to sort it out when we got there. I got on the train. On the train, I got banned from Facebook for being Special Agent Cooper because someone had reported me. And it was someone within, I think I found out later, it was someone within Midlife Gamer had said it wasn't my real name. Which meant that when I arrived, I had no messages and I didn't have Toby's number. And I just arrived and I didn't have my smartphone at the time either. I had a Nokia, it's over there, one of the new Nokia 3310s.
So a dealer burner phone.
Exactly. Like a special agent would have had. And he was like, I saw the messages after, it's like, Joe's done one. Where's he got? Like, he said he's going to stay with me and he's absolutely disappeared. So I've been on the receive. I think Midlife Gamers full of grass is like, let's take them out.
It.
Let's break their kneecaps.
What I want to know
You're basically saying it's like Midlife Gamers are one massive prison.
Actually, I can't say that on Facebook. I'll be banned. But I think they're all absolute grasses, and we should break their knecaps.
You do know that we'll be posting a link to this on Midlife Gamer. Oh my God!
Whoever posts it's getting banned, mate.
You're in for it now, Special Agent Cooper. Anyway, what I want to know is, where does this leave my standing in the future for the metaverse? Because, like I said, it was my birthday this month. I'm 49. I'm getting on.
Don't worry.
Soon I won't have control of my limbs and my bowels and things like that. So I'm going to want that VR helmet on so I can fly about.
You'll be all right, Metamate. Don't worry. You'll be fine.
He'll go in there. You'll go in there with a default red text above your head to show that you're like a player killer.
Oh, like a hacks symbol above my head.
So how long's this ban for then?
I don't know. They said 30 days, but I've appealed it. That's why it was so fast, the ban, because I appealed it straight away.
Because you told them to fuck off.
Well, basically, yeah. Swear jar.
Come on now, I've been swearing.
So I straight away I appealed it. I went, "Oh, come on, look, this is part of everyday use." And they went, "Nope, a human's reviewed it." And
a Wookiee has reviewed it, and it seems like a Wookiee strategy for playing chess.
Yeah, exactly. That was my first thought. I did actually mention that because you have to type up a whole report basically to them. So I mentioned the Collins Dictionary, all sorts. I put loads of clips in from old films.
He's done some research into this, hasn't he?
And then I said at least I'm not a Wookiee. So, saying that, what is our first question from thing, what I used to know, called Facebook?
Called the Facebook. Okay, so I put a post out only, I think it was yesterday or the day before, quite late in the day, so I do apologise about it. Got a couple of, and it was basically asking for questions, comments, or any kind of feedback. And the first one we got on there is from Cy Stevens, and he asks, "What was the greatest Rudders Habit character?"
Cooperman.
So Cooperman?
Cooperman. 100. Clark Bent, aka Cooperman.
See how on earth
Joe Cooperman?
How?
Like I said, this is the least prepared I am, but I always turn up prepared, Neale.
Okay. Yeah, in some particular way. So, well, how?
Just like that.
Just. What about you, Mr. Moore? Can you remember any characters? What's her?
So he was based on it. Sorry, he was based on Tommy. He was called Cooperman. I know you're giving me the credit, but it wasn't based on my sort of 5-year-old self in 1987. It was based on Tommy Cooper, wasn't it? And he started it about, I think it's like 6 months after Tommy Cooper died, which is If you imagine doing that now, basing a character on a comedian who would just like, it's like having Cryer Man today as a version of Barry Cryer that solves crime in an inept way. Like, it's quite a mad thing that he did.
It's a bit late for him now.
Okay, now.
But Tommy,
Can you remember? Sorry, go on, Joe. Finish yourself off.
Well, like, well, Tommy Cooper had like literally died 6 months ago. Then Cooperman is supposed to be just like, yeah. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Russ Abbott YouTube videos. Some of them don't age. Like the Spanners do not age well.
No, I watched one yesterday actually after posting the question when I pulled the image and I was like, yeah, I'll have a look at that. Can you remember any characters, Mr. Moore? Or can you just remember the legend that is Russ Abbott?
It's just the legend, just the legends. That's all.
Right. See, when I was a kid, I do remember the Scottish guy which we mentioned, obviously Scottish caricature that we mentioned in previous episodes. But I do actually remember the image that I use as well. I do remember Basildon Bond as well, just being absolutely ridiculous. And I remember actually pretty sure I went to a friend's birthday party when I was about 8 or 9, dressed as Basildon Bond, but just because I had a balaclava.
Please God, let there be a picture.
There will be somewhere. But you'll never ever see it. Just use your imagination, Dave. It's fine.
I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out your mum's number. I'm going to ring her.
That would be really difficult to find my mum's number.
I've just repressed several bad things I could have said there.
Yeah.
Just as a side note.
Go on then.
You know, you were talking about Tommy Cooper then. When I was a kid, I was watching that live TV thing with my dad when he died on stage. I'm pretty sure it seriously affected me. Yeah.
Oh God, that's awful.
Anyway, next question.
So yeah,
Sorry, Dave. As I think death and grief correspondent, I'd just like to check in and make sure you're feeling okay.
Just like to say, I've killed no animals this week. Everything is fine.
Oh, he's going to get banned from fucking Zoom next. Just as a kind of a side note and kind of extra kind of bit to that question, it was answered by our good friend Richard Forder that actually he thinks it's Basildon Bond as well.
One of the weirdest, and this is I'm going to go off on a tangent, unsurprisingly. One of the weirdest Basildon Bond things. Do you ever see Brass Eye? You ever watch sort of British comedy Brass Eye back in the day?
Yes,
it's incredible.
Yes.
But do you remember the episode about cake? And it was chronic Basildon puke plates, and he was talking. And this is a weird sort of. This is going to go to some dark places. He was talking to MP David Amos, which is the guy who's been sort of killed by a terrorist. And what I remember him for is
what?
Basildon Bond. Oh my God. Because he was the MP for Basildon. So the cake thing, MP David Amos MP. And he goes, good God. About cake, about this made up drug. And then about a year ago, he was like assassinated. It's horrible. This can't go in the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, but no, we're keeping everything. Everything that you say, Joe, is going to be used against you in a court of law.
But keep it light, like. But it's a weird turnaround where, when he was on the news about being it was horrible what happened. But I was still thinking, MP David Amos MP, sort of this comic turn from Brass Eye about him going, good God. What was the elaborate, because your memory's going to be better than mine. No, elaborate for me with Brass Eye. Wasn't there an episode when they were talking about a paedophile dressing up as a school? Yeah, he really is a shit. Doon McKinnican says that he really is a shit. The paedophile one got a lot, but they were all like close to. And if you watch it now, it's a kind of less. It's less surprising because news has actually gone there now, but it's sort of predicting how mad live news was going to become. Clickbait news will actually get, yeah. If I was really doing this, what would you think? No, it's worth a rewatch, but this can't go in the podcast, boys. I can't. It can definitely go in the podcast. Don't you worry. It's chronic Basildon puke plates. It's absolute gold. Argue Barney's. Hadji Jake's pretentious cheese wog. It's absolutely fine. We're keeping it. Keeping it all. This is going. It definitely is. Look, I'm calling carte blanche. You can't do anything about it. It's in. Right. So we've gone round. So we've talked about a little bit what Joe's playing at the moment.
Dave, what video games have you been playing?
Right, well, I thought I'd had a really shit month, but swear jar again.
Oh, mate. I'm skinny.
So, I was really just sort of tinkering with stuff, and I couldn't really find anything that I really love this month. So I've just been tinkering with things, really. What I need to do is just delete everything on the hard drive and just put some games on there and stick to them, I think. So, excuse me.
I mean, that is in like you've been floating and not been able to settle on a particular game, or you've just been basically you don't know what you want to play. Is that how you're referring?
I think that's what I was doing. So I fell back into my old roots. I think I said last month. I've got back into Sea of Thieves in a big way. My God, have I been having some good times on that. So there was a time-limited adventure, which is sort of like a mini Tall Tale, which are the story-focused bits of the game. So I did that, and then I've been catching up on some old content, because I stopped playing it for about 6 months. So I've been doing these like shrines and things like that, which are great because they've been like 1 hour mini puzzles to themselves, and then once you've done them all and found all the logs that lead to the story, you get a big quest at the end of it. So I've really been enjoying that, but I've only been doing them solo.
This is weird, man, because I played this like almost weekly with a gang. There's 4 of us. We do it on somebody else's stream, and I just hang out with them and play it. And we tried to do that Tall Tale, that new one. And we got to the woman. She was like, "Yeah, man, you totally found me with the compass and the fog and all that jazz." But she glitched out and she wouldn't continue the quest. She wouldn't move on. So we got in our boat and we went like all the way across the other side of the fucking continent to one of the other islands. Go like, "Are you gonna fucking kick us off?" No, fucking glitchy online games.
I actually watched that stream yesterday, and I'll tell you exactly what went wrong.
Oh, okay.
So, at the bit when an enormous flame lit up behind her, and that she said, "You need to take this flame somewhere," everyone went, "Oh yeah, let's just bugger off and go off the island and just do stuff, like, whatever." All you had to do was lift your lantern up and go, "Thanks."
I'm sure I tried a lantern. I tried a lantern at some point.
Yeah, so it does bug out though, a lot of stuff like that. But that quest actually took me forever because, like I said, I've been playing it solo, and there's so many people on there now that they don't really play like they used to. Like they used to attack you if they thought you got something, or there'd be a lot more stuff on the mic, like people would shout and have a laugh and talk to you. You know, there'd be a lot more social interaction. But now everyone just piles on. Doesn't matter. They just attack you on sight. So it's really annoying because if you lose the quest items, they're gone and you got to start again, basically. So there were people camping the very first island where you started. So it was just like a fortress. You died as soon as you went on. And then there's people camping the island where you need to go to do stuff. So it was very frustrating. I had to do it like 4 times.
I want to get a t-shirt or a placard that says, "Down with camping. Careful now."
Exactly. We need the Father Ted suit. Yeah, so that was first one. I warn you, this is a bit of a list. Obviously, Gears and Beers, great times. I am still unbelievably, I still cannot believe quite how bad I am at this game, but it's always great fun. And
it's never about being good. Not for 3/4 of us. It's
absolutely.
always about just the bands.
I've got over I'm going to be last.
Yeah.
And it's just...
That's when I freak out, when I'm in the top half of the table. I literally am just like, I'm sat there going, yes!
Don't put yourself down now, Neale. You've been on fire the last few weeks. You've got several MVPs.
I put it down to a new monitor with faster frame rates to it. It has to be something. I've definitely done nothing else. So I've definitely not had any practice.
I mean,
Yes,
sorry, Matt. You had problems last week, didn't you? Didn't you say that you got killed so hard it literally kicked you out the game?
No, you fucking did. Did you hit?
Swear
I think so. Yeah, I think did you hit both of us at the same time with a drop shot? And for the first time ever, my console powered down. No, did it power down? I think it did. I think it powered
down.
It completely powered down. And I had to unplug it from the back and plug it back in again, and then get the controller booted up first, and boot the console up. And I'm like, okay, brilliant.
Amazing.
And it wouldn't put me back. It couldn't get me back online. It wouldn't connect me to Xbox Live. I couldn't connect on my console. It was that fucked from that drop shot. I was able to get on the Xbox app on the PC just to talk to you guys and say, "Fuck, does anybody else like?" And it was a house just get destroyed by that fucking drop shot.
It was
Do you know who it was from?
Orbit.
Do you know who it was from?
Did you?
Was it Digi who did it to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. The fact that he drop shotted you to kill your internet practically is legendary. That's awesome.
This is the power of Scottish internet on a Friday.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, me and you sit there. We look at the leaderboard and go like, "Who's got the best ping?" Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Me and Matt apparently have the best ping. I don't know how, and we're always last. Anyway, right, let's move on to the next one.
Keep on moving.
It Takes Two. I finally got 10 minutes to finish it with my friend. It was incredible. I would like to tell you about a spoiler at the end. Oh, I'm going to tell you. No, I'm not. No. There's a very embarrassing moment when two fully grown men are playing a divorced couple, and you can probably work out how the game resolves. But you have to do a physical action. It was most embarrassing. Anyway, I don't know if I've talked about this before. I'm still like insanely addicted to Clash Royale, a mobile phone game. I've been playing it for years and years.
How do you find the time to do this?
Well, Clash Royale matches take 2 minutes.
Is it a toilet game?
No, that would be unhygienic.
Oh, what? Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's a toilet game, basically.
Yeah. I mean, so that's Clash Royale. I've got...
But that has a season pass that you can pay. It's like £4 a month if you want to, which drastically speeds everything up. So you get more cards, you get more money to upgrade those cards, and you get certain things that are extremely hard to get that upgrade cards like in one.
So what you're saying is over the course of a year, you're paying the same as a AAA title to...
Essentially, but
Yeah.
I would probably argue that all the games I have played all together in the time over those last few years added together are nowhere close to how much I've played that game. Because it's just drips and drabs constantly.
It's a free game. If you're enjoying it, throw an extra couple of bucks at them, and bonus for you.
Yeah. So
But are you paying that now? Are you paying that subscription, Dave?
No,
Do you pay
I'm
for
not.
that
But that's where I was going. So the rate of how you improve is so drastically impaired without this season pass. But it's mainly just because they've introduced 3 new characters, these champions, which are unbelievably hard to get like the card for. But on this season pass track, there's like a thing that upgrades them, which it's going to take me literally years to upgrade them otherwise. So it's put a bit of a dampener on it, but there you go. Mobile gaming and purchases out the window. Next, I played some Far Cry 5 with Gav again.
So I loved that game when I played that. I played it completely soloed. That is an amazing game.
Now, we've been playing this on and off, but it's normally after, like, we have our normal Tuesday group, and it's normally after that. So at this point, we're normally absolutely arsehole, to be honest. So we've been playing this for months, and neither of us have the faintest clue what is going on in the plot at all. And the worst thing
It's a bit far-fetched in places. I'll give you that. There's a bit of there's tenuous links between reality and kind of the drugs that
We have no
quite
idea.
trippy.
It's basically we go from danger to danger, and on the way, it's just danger. Everything attacks you. Everything in this game wants you to die. Everything wants to kill you. We have no idea where we are, what we're doing, who we are. It's just what the hell is going on?
Start again. Can you not start from the beginning? Have you jumped into it sounds like you've jumped into the hard level or something. And you were so drunk when you... I think it reminds me that I can always remember, but the first time I ever played Oblivion, talking years ago on the 360, I used to play it when I was living at home with my mum and dad, after travelling and all bits and bobs and stuff like that. And I used to play it after drinking quite heavily, get so far in, and then the next time I boot it up, I absolutely had no idea what I'd done, what I was doing, what I had, where I was going. And it basically was a brand new game each time, but it was like a kind of like a Hades thing where you constantly kind of go through the kind of the
So what you're saying is
progressing.
Far Cry is basically a roguelike. How we're playing it.
You roguelike yourself because you have no idea what you're doing. Yeah, that's how I felt with Oblivion. I rogueliked it because you just made it harder for myself each time I played it. And I think you and Gav are doing the exact same thing with Far Cry, aren't you, by the sounds of it?
No, neither of us. It's not just me. It's Gav as well. He literally has no clue what's gone on, what we've done before, or anything. It is Far Cry the roguelike.
I've got very little sympathy, having played a lot of Ali's PlayStation games, and exactly that's where, what the hell is happening? And it's no way to play. It's no way to enjoy playing a game. It's jumping in without it makes it harder, doesn't it?
I like it. It's quite fun though because we've got no affiliation or anything, so we're just we're either running from enormous crowds of baddies trying to kill us, or we just decide to murder everyone for no apparent reason. Either way, it's all fun. Remember Facebook, I'm not violent.
Apparently not.
Okay, next one. I got back. Like I said, I've bought that capture card off a friend. Total bargain. So I decided to test it. I decided to put Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch because I thought I'll test stream in the Switch. So I did a little test video, which I think I sent to you. Again, I think it's like my mind's been erased. I've got literally no idea how to play that game anymore. So that was fun. That lasted about 10 minutes, and then I remembered what I was saying about the frame rate. Yep, still awful. So I moved on to Raji. Now, this is like a Hindu mythology-based Xbox game. It's on Game Pass. It was out before Christmas, as I have to say always. I don't know. This is a weird one. I really love listening to the story and stuff, but it is goddamn boring, this game. It's got sort of old school God of War-y types combat with some platforming and stuff. It's just boring. So that is basically Class 5'd. It's gone. Back for Blood, I've been playing lots of still on Tuesdays. That is a brilliant game. Get in there with your mates. It's surprisingly long. It's a lot longer than I was expecting. And it's been sort of patched and leveled out a bit more now. It was good.
When I played it initially, and I think it was in the first 2 weeks of it coming out, you could tell it needed patching quite a bit. It wasn't unplayable, but it was a bit raw around the edges.
Yeah, it's superb now. Get back on it if you haven't. If you like Left 4 Dead, it's perfect. It's got quite a good atmosphere, like type story. We're playing it through, and it feels like a campaign as we're going on. So nice. I'm loving that. Another little game I've been chipping away at. How do you find
time to play these many video games?
Small ones.
Do you sleep?
Not really. I'm a terrible sleeper. I get about 4-5 hours. That's it.
Fuck yeah.
This is the next one I've been playing. Like I said, I've been chipping away. This is a rubbish little game. It's a single screen pixel art game called Party Hard. And basically,
I've got that. It's very good. I enjoy that game.
yeah, you
I
play
bought it
a
ages
killer.
ago.
Again, Facebook. I am not violent.
Stop listening.
Go on, Neil.
Yeah. No,
you can
it's
talk about this one.
Yeah, so I bought this. This is one of the first games that I got when I first got my PC about 2 years ago. Because when I first got the Steam account and stuff like that, because I'd seen that it was on loads of people's wish lists and stuff like that. It's strangely addictive, isn't it?
It's super. It's one of those great dip in, murder a load of people, done.
Come back out again.
Come back and play again in a couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a single player amongst us to a certain respects, with the kind of the traps you can set and the kind of the trap doors you can go through to get other parts of the map and things like that. But the entire premise of the game is just to kill absolutely every single civilian on a stage, like in a one,
without being caught,
without being caught by like with security. And the police will occasionally come in and drag away dead bodies and stuff like that you leave around, but you've got certain kind of mechanics, haven't you, to kind of like dispose of people and kind of get rid of them and
chuck
stuff
them in
like.
bins down manholes off the sides of ships.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. There's a sequel, isn't there, as well?
Yeah, I've got that as well, but I want to finish the first one.
Yeah. No,
again, these are like £2 purchases in the past. Okay, next one. I finished Unjamalami, which is the sequel to Parappa, on the PlayStation 1.
Dave, what are you doing with your life?
You have to finish it, and then you can play as Parappa in that game. So it's like you rap your way through the game as well. It's superb.
Can you say the guy's name again?
It's a female llama called Unjamalami.
Yeah. But I say Parappa. Did you say Parappa?
Parappa.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were getting all posh on me.
Parappa
the
from the
rapper.
Black Country. We is not posh, way.
It's impossible.
Okay, and then
What? Wait a minute. Let's come back in just a second on this. What made you play a game that is 20 years old?
not
just 20. No, in fact, that's a bad question.
As Parappa, because I'd done it all as Unjami, the guitar playing llama, back then. But I just fancied it. I was feeling rubbish, so I just thought, what's the best to lift the mood? That's
I'm not
right.
having to go.
A rapping dog.
I'm not going to go at you at all. I'm just questioning, like, how your brain got to. You know what? I'm going to play this game.
Yeah, because it's not on the shelf,
I've had
is
for
it?
years.
It's not walking past going, Parappa the
yeah,
Rapper.
you know what? Actually, Parappa the Rapper sequel.
Well, I've got an absolutely insane emulation set up, so I can basically play anything at the drop of a hat. Here's another one for you. I haven't put this on the list, but I spent about 4 days trying to get a PS3 emulator working so I could play Outrun 2.
Oh, Dave, you're an absolute lunatic.
It's wicked. Well,
Just
the thing about
the
Outrun 2 is,
self-flagellation that you go through just to play 20 minutes to half an hour of a game.
yeah, but the thing is, you can't buy it anymore.
Fuck you.
It's delisted from everything. So you can, if you originally bought it in the past and you've got a 360, you can play it. But it's delisted. It is physically impossible to buy a copy of Outrun 2 now. And it's awesome. It's a really, really good game. Right, I've got one more.
Okay, I was just about to ask you how many else, because I was going to shift my arse cheek somewhere
Now,
else.
this one, I actually did finish as well. So this, I've decided, like I said, I've not had a great month. I felt a bit shitty, and I'm sick of not going out, and I'm sick of the rain, I'm sick of the darkness outside and everything, and I'm sick of being stuck in a building in Wolverhampton. So I played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture again.
Again, you thought, you know what? I could do with a bit more of that.
No, well, I thought about it, and I thought, this is the greatest environment I've ever walked around in a game. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but isn't that game about some sort of semi-apocalypse?
Yes, It
So
absolutely is.
you were sat at home depressed with Hurricane Franklin or whatever it was outside the window.
So we had,
And
we've
let
had
me escape
three
this
storms,
world.
a world war, and all the rest.
All sorts. And you thought, you know what? I'll escape to a post-apocalyptic world where I'm on my own, walking around some streets.
Neil, it's beautiful. Just have a walk around. I put it on the PS5, and it performs a whole lot better than it used to. And it's just fantastic to walk around. And this is probably the saddest moment ever. I went to the pub in it, and I decided I quite like it here. I'm just going to sit. I'm going to have an actual beer, and I'm going to just sit in the pub.
Waiting for a trophy to pop.
That is true. There was an achievement for it, but
Oh, was he?
yeah,
So you
there
actually
is.
what?
There is.
Ah,
You have to go to both pubs. And so I played this over 2 nights, and I did it the first night, and then I thought, you know what? I really enjoyed that. I'm going to do that again tonight. So I went to the other pub and had another half hour in there.
And now he's not welcome in either of them.
yeah, exactly. And this is a little open a little window to Dave's psyche. Fucking hell.
So anyway, it's definitely it's a game I've played that's most made me feel like I'm in an actual place in any game ever. Just like the sense of everything, you know, you're looking around and everything looks real. You know, there's Rubik's cubes and there's Commodore 64s in houses and things like that. It's just quaint and nostalgic and nice. So yeah, that was it. Oh, cool. And I also did similar. I did fire up Cyberpunk, as Matt was talking about, because I wanted to see what it was like. What did I do in there? I went to the pub.
Fucking hell.
It sounds like you need to leave the house, Dave. It's a good job that you are on the weekend.
Well, that's right. That's right. We're having a little shindig the weekend.
Little get together Friday. You coming out Friday night then, Dave?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday.
Sweet.
Right, so I realised that was one hell of a gargantuan list, and I thought it would be about 2 minutes. But anyway, about time. Matthew, what is going on in the world of your finances?
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna start this by saying that I've kind of I think I've started using Joe as a benchmark for decisions that I make. I consider to myself, like, how would I feel if I had to write this on graph paper and present it to Joe as this is what a decision I'm making, and it's kind of paying off. So when we came into this process, I did kind of say that I need to sort some of this shit out, and I've been saying that to myself, even about that crazy Xbox 2 accounts thing. I've been saying it to myself forever, but it wasn't until hanging out with you guys that it's kind of given me that purpose to actually, you know what, you need to fucking go on top of this, Matthew. So far so good with all of that. Now, so I've done a few things this week, and this might sound silly, but to me this is actually big achievements. Like I've now paid for my Disney Plus for the whole year, and I saved 2 months by doing that.
Oh yeah,
why not? You get exactly the same thing, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, and it's one payment, and it's so that's great. I did the same today with my Xbox. So if you remember, as much as I got my account sorted, I was still paying for my Ultimate via my telephone contract. So I cancelled that down today, and I picked up. So I was paying like £15 a month for that. I picked up a 3-month version of CD Keys for £25. And I just thought 3 months, that's cheaper than that. That gets me onto it, because I was considering that. I was considering that, like, people talk about that £1 thing. I'm like, that sounds like I'll go down the wrong rabbit hole. I'll just get 3 months, top up my account, and then I'm ready to roll. No more subscriptions. I'm looking for the nods of approval.
That's pretty
good. Yeah, mate.
I mean, you really are taking this to heart now, and you're really thinking about it.
I'll tell you what, they were cheeky on the old Xbox thing, because I got the code off CD Keys, And then when I pasted it into my account on my computer, after turning off recurring billing on my phone and cancelling that record of a payment method, and it was so lovely getting rid of that concept and then just saying, I'm going to prepay for the next 3 months. And then when I did it, it was clever. It went, hey, if you put on reoccurring payments, you get a month for free. And I thought, a month for free? That's free. And that's a month. So I thought that...
So the concept of months crept in at that point.
The concept of months, Neale.
Months. He gets it!
Batu, can I direct you to something? For your Game Pass and things. Mark Monaghan, I don't know if I pronounced his surname properly.
I think it's pronounced Mahern. I think that's
Mahern. Let's not go full Russ Abbott.
Miss Funny
produced an excellent guide to Game Pass savings. It's pinned at the top of the Midlife Gamer group. Should you have a look? I just thought I'd pimp that. Continue.
Good shout. So it said to me, do you want a free month? I thought, I'll have a free month because obviously future me will remember that. And part of me was thinking, do you know what, mate? For that free month, at some point you'll forget something or you'll miss an email. But I thought a free month's too tempting, so I clicked OK. And it went, all right, give us the payment details. I went, no, Microsoft, no. The risk of me giving
No, Terry.
you...
No, Terry.
No, Terry. Terry, don't make me pay this. Terry, no.
So I feel like I'm making progress. I'm doing right.
Sounds like you're going down the right track here.
Good on you.
I'm awaiting the spreadsheet analysis, though, from Jarrett.
This is literally what I was about to ask for. Please tell me you're documenting this somewhere on a spreadsheet with formulas.
No.
You need to. Somebody needs to. We need to track this.
We'll do it.
You know,
We'll do it.
Listeners, please.
I need to know.
us.
I need to know by the end of this year how much money you've saved by stopping thinking and reverting bad habits.
True, and I need to ask a question whether or not I was tempted to pull a trigger on something. I thought I'll wait and like use you guys as a sounding board.
Go on then. No, you can't. It's a joker. Sorry,
it's my internet. So it's my internet. So I'm paying £49, 49 quid for 300 meg.
That's
wow,
all right.
I wish I was getting that for that price.
So so as rural as I am, we do have a rural internet provider.
But you're getting 300 meg down your fat pipe.
Damn
Sounds
fat
like that
pipe.
bloke with the umbrella earlier.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you walk for a week afterwards.
How much are you paying a month, did you say?
49. And it's a single payment. But I was looking on their website and they were showing that you can get 900 meg for 49. So I raised a support ticket. I'm like, can I have that? And they were like, yeah, but you know what? I got a really nice personal response. It was like, it's a new customer thing and I get it. And we have to
okay. I'll become a new customer then by quitting
Matt,
and leaving
just
you.
get
Okay,
Joe
that's
to
fine.
sign up. Just
Mate,
say,
I do this all the
I'm
time.
sacking
What you've
it
got to
off
remember-
and get Joe to sign up.
What you've got to remember is that companies literally just want to make money and they pretend to be your friend. And he's pretending to be your friend there. And like, oh, no, sorry, that's just for new customers. Okay, then. See you later. I'll find someone who... I will be a new customer for somebody else then. And you'll probably get the deal. Like, you've got to be a bit of a prick.
Well, he did say that what they would, as a loyal customer thing, I could pay an extra, I think, £5 a month.
No.
To go up to 90.
Wait a minute,
What you're saying is, I'm a loyal customer.
As a loyal customer, you
because
can
I'm
pay us more.
Because I'm loyal and I've been with you for years, you want me to pay more? Now, see you later. I'll go with someone else. I'll get a new customer deal with someone else.
Yeah, but they know I can't go nowhere else. What am I going to do? Go and get Vodafone or BT and get like a 12 meg connection?
Why
no,
can't
I'm not.
you?
Because
can't
it's
you?
rural. Because it's either this one fat pipe that these guys designed to go into rural areas and are fucking awesome, or you're reliant on a telephone line.
I just like the analogy of like, because you're a loyal customer. So you come in, I see you, Mr. Jarrett, you come into Tesco's quite often. I saw you here.
We're going to charge you an extra £2.
I'm going to give you 10% extra.
But I was
we're going to
ask-
charge you because
See
you're
this
in all the
guy?
time, aren't you?
Yeah, I was
This
asking
guy,
for more
I've
than
never
that.
seen him
I'll give you a
before.
bigger trolley
He
to shop
He gets
in.
his one bars for free. You've got to fucking pay
Yeah,
£2.
But
mate.
I was asking for more in this context. So
Go on then, sorry.
is it worth me paying either
Yeah.
either 5 or 10? I forget what the value is to go from 300 meg to 900 meg.
No. It's worth saying, see you later, and see how they respond.
It's not worth it because I survive on 60.
See,
And I can probably
I'm
do
like Matt here.
all
I would
the things-
see that big number and just go £5
Yeah, but-
more.
I'm an absolute right. I've
No, I don't agree with
had
that.
about an hour's worth. This is years ago. About an hour's worth of customer service from a shop, and said, "Oh, it's been brilliant." It was about buying some running shoes, and they'd done a gait analysis, and they cost a tenner for the gait analysis. And they said, "We'll take it off the price of your shoes." I went, "Yeah, but the shoes are £30 cheaper on Amazon. Can you meet me halfway?" And they said, "No." I went, "All right then. Here's a tenner. I'll buy the £100 shoes from Amazon then," and did because I'm a shit. But they are just a company that's trying to make as much money as they can off you. And if someone said to me, if they said to me, "Oh no, if it's a new customer, I'll give them that deal. But because you've been loyal to us, we're going to charge you an extra £5 for it," I'd be really annoyed.
How do I play that? Do I respond? Because they closed the tickets, but they did say that if you respond, it will reopen. So I don't go. Do I just go? Do I just go
Rate
back and
them
say
poorly.
Just say, I don't find this acceptable.
Do I need to say, or do I need to? I don't know. How to do it.
Escalate to a manager. Say, "Look, I really don't want to leave. I really don't want to take a poorer service, but I feel like you care more about getting new customers than keeping me on side. So I'd be willing to spend a year with slightly worse broadband if I have to, but I'd rather I didn't. So can I just have this deal at the same price as everybody else?"
But what if they call my bluff and say, "Well, fuck off then"?
And then you go, "Okay, I'll phone you back and quit."
The problem is, though,
You've
Matthew,
not lost
is-
anything. You haven't actually. You're not going to see them in the pub. You're never going to meet them again. You don't have an actual relationship with this
Where
person.
Matt lives,
Yeah, but
he might.
Matthew's got a reputation. They'll come and find it. They know what pub he drinks.
My theory is that Matt lives in the village from Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. Everyone's dead. That's why his download is so good. No shared
next
bandwidth.
to all the cabinets.
It's just like that the Highlander for the 2022.
I'm pretty sure though, the business model.
There
is
can
quite-
only be one
person on the
connection!
internet.
There's going to be one pink.
There's one pipe into your village. Sounds like an illegal monopoly. Like it's genuinely not allowed in terms of British business law.
County lines in it.
In all seriousness, Matthew, if you want my opinion, I don't think there's any difference. Like, there's a difference between 20 meg and 60 and 100. There's a difference. But actually, physically, what are you going to do with that extra, 300, 600? What difference will that make to your life? None. Movies aren't going to stream better because you've got 300.
It costs
Literally
them nothing to give you 600. I'd be annoyed with them.
Yeah, but I think that's you. That's you being you, Joe.
I'd take them out.
Take them
Rip their-
out.
To quote
Secret.
Dave, I'd rip their arms off.
And here with the soggy ends.
Exactly. Go, Bookie.
My opinion would be drop it. You're paying £4 more a month for your broadband, and I get 60 and you get 300, and I've got the best deal in my area.
I think I paid
for-
£20 a month broadband.
All right. Do you know what? I will thank myself lucky and keep on trucking on.
I should probably shut up because I'm with BT and I paid a ridiculous amount.
Don't say anything bad about BT. They're probably listening to you, Dave. You know about services listening to you. They'll ban you from your own internet.
They'll ruin me in the metaverse again.
Yeah,
Call
that's
themselves
it.
a Meta Knight. Because...
Exactly. Nobody wants that.
So well done, Matt. Anyway, all round,
Yes.
you've done some
Congratulations,
savings.
Matthew.
You are
Love
accomplishing
it.
your goal.
Yeah, I will.
it.
I will continue to investigate ways and means because honestly, Joe, I have started to investigate a number of things. I
good.
have a loan. I have a loan, and I actually went and found out. And went, oh, that's not very good, is it, Matthew? You can actually, and I've already found a place. I'm like, I can. That will save me £70 a month over 3 years, and that's a lot of money.
That's a ton of money. That's more than you're paying for that telly you got from Sky.
Anyway, Neale, how are things?
By the way, I've also bought
Hi.
a telly, but I didn't get it on the hire purchase on the Never Never.
Never.
Did you buy it down the pub?
Yeah, got it from a guy called
it-
Jeff.
It was in a car park at some.
He
service
said some
station.
other guys paying 70 quid a month, so he's got a load of tellies, and one of them he's basically covering everyone else's telly.
I did get offer once when it was at a service station. Somebody asked me if I wanted to come and look at some electricals at the back of his van, but I thought it was like a ploy to kind of just kidnap me or something like that.
Absolutely.
Was his name
face.
Bill? Like Buffalo or
He was,
something?
he had his arm in a sling.
Puts the lotion on it.
Came over and was like, "Could you help me with this settee in the back of my van, please?" Yeah. Are you trying to say that I'm a big girl that he wanted to take the skin off me, Dave?
Exactly.
What?
That beautiful complexion.
Yeah. He wants to wear my beard. Unbelievable.
As a murky.
Is that you then, Matthew? Is that all you done?
100%.
Excellent, mate.
100%.
Good on you, pal. Good on you.
Well done.
Is it me?
It's over to
Is it me for
Neale.
what?
Let's
Right,
hear
okay,
what
we'll
you've
keep
been
it
playing.
short and sweet. I've been playing the Halo Infinite campaign a little bit after playing on a Friday night gaming session with the rest of MLG regular peeps. I think we played some Halo about 2 or 3 weeks ago and really enjoyed the session that we did. Even though you're terrible at it. So I thought, screw it, you know what? It's there. I enjoyed the hour or two I put into it when it first came out. So I've done that, and I've got to a good point in the game where I'm really enjoying the internal and external mechanics, how it changes your fighting mechanics and your way you go about battles and things. I think it's a really good game. I'm about halfway through. Usual kind of Halo story confusion. Lots of stuff going on that you don't really know what's going on. Well, I don't really know what's going on that well, but I'm really enjoying it, and I will, by the next recording, I would imagine, got to the end. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Quick question about that one, Neale. Because
go on then.
I've been saving that because they've not released multiplayer on it, and I've always played Halos as multiplayer.
Do you mean co-op?
Yes. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
not the competitive version.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll translate well to a cooperative game, or do you think it's more fun taking it on solo?
No, I think it'll do really well. I think if you try and relate it to, say, like you've been saying, you've been playing Far Cry 5. Mm-hmm. So you've got two characters in the same instance in a massive open world, jumping in different vehicles, being in different parts of them. You don't have to be next to each other. Mm-hmm. You know, you can separate split screen away from each other in essence. I think that will work absolutely perfect. But the way that they weave it into a story where you're another the second person is another Spartan, rather than being Master Chief, that will take some jigging.
Now, Neale,
I would have thought.
I'm playing this, yeah? I've done about 6 hours into it, and I'm exactly where Dave is. I'm like, I see you enjoying it and the fresh open world. I'm bored as fuck. The most fun I'm having in that game outside the opening. So it opens up when it's narrow, and it opens up and it goes, "What? Holy shit! Look at this! It's a whole open world."
It's a world.
But the more fun I'm having is when I feel like I'm playing Halo again, where it's tight corridors and it's that crafted instance almost,
Yes.
or it's a mission quest. Because sometimes I just find myself going point to point, thinking, I wish I had a mate with me. I got into a warthog or one with the cannons on the back, and I'm like beep the horn, going, "There's some AI," and they get in. I'm like, "This is great. I wish it was like."
Well, imagine
guys.
that would be good if it was, say, 2-3 of your mates. That would be absolutely stupid, ridiculous, wouldn't it? Yeah. So I think it's. I think I know where you're coming from. I enjoy the kind of the closed off areas that are internal. They play like a really good Halo game. The visuals are sexy as fuck, and the music is obviously always really good. And I know it's a tried and tested formula, but I think it works really well in what they're trying to do. But when it does transfer to that outdoor area, I know what you mean. You just kind of think, oh. But then I think that's when you kind of start looking at the map, and you start looking at, like, right, okay, getting your Spartan capsules or whatever they call for upgrades. You've got to be able to read your map a little bit better, Matt, I think, in a way, because you can see where the big storyline objectives are. You work your way around them to kind of level up your chief. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but it's that open world stuff where at least there's not a lot of question marks all over it, and you're like, shit, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that is true.
And you have to, you've got an XP bar that you need to, excuse me, apologies. At least you haven't got that. But I think it's good. I think if Dave, if you're waiting for the kind of co-op element, do so. It's good. I think they talked about it being mid-year, haven't they? Early to mid-year this year.
Is it a thing?
They're going to kind of play.
So
yeah, it's a thing. They're going to bring it in.
2, 4, how many people?
Well, I don't know, to be honest with you. I think when they've done it before, the co-op element, it's always been 2 or 4, hasn't it, Dave? Like ODST was 4, wasn't it?
The first couple of 2, but everything's been 4-player from that on. From then on, sorry.
I mean, Neale, are you like able to use the aeroplanes? Like, I've not seen any. I've not.
No, I've not got to a part of the map where you can use them yet. So you can use a lot of the ground vehicles, but as of yet, no, I've not progressed to the part of the story where you can fly around in those. If you could, then yeah, kind of going off and mopping up the kind of side objectives as you go around would be a piece of piss, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So right, my next question then is, because it's now an open world game and obviously you've got a lot more choice and you can, freedom to do things. Does it feel as tight as like a normal Halo campaign? Are there as many like cinematic moments and things like that?
Yeah, there is. I mean, so one of the key bits that I've just gone through is you come to a part of the ring that you're trying to blow up, save, whatever.
Try not to spoil it.
Yeah, and you come to a part of the ring where it's a massive mining project, and the banished, the enemies of the game, are trying to drill into the middle of the ring for a story reason that I won't spoil. And even though it's open world, it's it's completely open, you can run around and stuff like that, it still feels, the way that they've done the level design around that mine, it still feels like a very large arena. You've got like a kill room and in a normal kind of like, first person, you've got a couple of barriers to hide behind, you've got a couple of things to run around. You've got a similar kind of premise, when you look at one side, it basically, the left-hand side echoes the right-hand side, so the turret's in the same place. The geography is the same, but it's just in a very, not very large, it's in a larger than most kill arena. For want of a better word.
I know what you mean, Neale, and I like that. Sometimes I find myself in those, particularly so Halo has like infamous autosaves, which can get you in a pickle. I guess being open world means that you're not going to be falling down. Well, for the most part, won't be falling down an infinite crevice. They do exist still. You're gated.
Yeah.
But so sometimes, and I guess because the loading speeds are good, because it's a tight fucking game, Dave. I mean, have you played the multiplayer? But like, we need to play that more. But like, that is so rapid. So quick to load. So like in the campaign, I don't feel too bad if I keep running into the same. I keep running again into the same fray exactly the same time. I can just stop for a hot second and go, right, hang on a minute. Let's have a think about this. Let me just spend 5 minutes going around the other direction. Yeah. And I'll still just go in guns blazing. I know there's things like the grappling hook, so I'm grabbing things from a distance and throwing them.
The
constantly, it's amazing. I should say that I have played maybe the first couple of hours of it. So I got outside and did the first objective once you get outside without spoiling anything.
And the thing is because it's rinse and repeat. There's nothing too different. The bounties for the kind of the wanted enemies of the game. You know what I mean? Like that hold special kind of weapon types of kind of like rocket launchers and things like that. That's quite good because they're quite challenging open world points where you can to a certain extent not stealth, but you can try and figure out how in their encampment, how do I get into it and how do I kill everybody effectively, but mainly the leader, because the leader is obviously using their high caliber weapon against me. So it's got that kind of thinking cap on it, against it. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. It's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's there, and it's just kind of like, right, well, why wouldn't I play it? It's a good game. It's one to tick off.
And it's free. That's what blows my mind. I always used to pay £60 for Halo, didn't you? Until this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, easy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Same.
So I've been playing that. The other game I've been playing, I mentioned it briefly earlier on. I did start a brand new game save on Cyberpunk 2077.
Did you go to the pub?
Dave. I say same reasons that you did, Dave. It's been on my pile of shame since it came out. I played about 7 or 8 hours when it first came out, and I played it on my PC, and it was hard for me. It wasn't good. I was trying to play it on a 4K TV, the best settings I could do, and my PC struggled, and I couldn't tell at the time whether it was a graphical glitch that the game was giving me to make it look futuristic and computery, or whether it is an actual bloody glitch because my PC couldn't keep up with the actual performance. So with the patch they put in, I thought, you know what, I'll give it another go. And I played about an hour or so last week, I think it was. And yeah, it's so much better. So Matthew, if you are looking to buy it, if you're thinking about being your Joker, I like it as a game. I think it's atmospheric. I think it's kind of it's got the mechanics that you may enjoy, but like I said, a word of warning, a word of haste is don't play it because you think it's going to be Witcher 3. Have you played The Witcher 3?
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So don't play it if you could, because it's very. It feels, even though it's first person, even though it's futuristic based, even the kind of the way that the perks and the RPG elements are completely different. It plays differently. It is a different feel for a game. So I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. I think it was when they did the patch. I think they did a free demo weekend, didn't they?
They did, and I did. I should. Do you know what? I should have absolutely taken
that.
Would
have been perfect.
Yeah,
that would have been perfect. Yeah,
to at least see what it, because I've been that guy who's dropped 60 quid on the
this is the thing.
Baldur's Gate, whatever the latest version is, and it's gone, oh, my computer can't handle it. Thank God there's a refund system.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? I would forgive you if you bought it. But this is the thing, you can't do it because you want to play it on your Xbox S, don't you? Because if you're going to buy it and play it on your PC, if you're going to try and run it on your PC via Steam, they have got that refund. But yeah, I would just, I don't know. I think, Matthew, just your Joker is your Joker. Nobody, you spend it how you want to spend it if you want to spend it. But it's not a Marmite game. I wouldn't go as far to say as that, but it's not what everybody thinks it's going to be. So put it this way, a good friend of all of ours, Dougie, bought it, played it, completed it, and then got a refund. He said when they were doing all the refunds and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And even though he could get another version back now and play a much better version of it, he's like, no, it wasn't for me. I didn't, I just played it. So it's got
isn't it now for him?
Yeah. So it's a different thing, but I can see potential in it personally, and it will be a game that I want to play this year. It will be a game that I want to tick off my list because it's been there for a while.
Do you think, and I'm always looking out for this, so let me know if you know these things exist. I'm always looking out for a game that I can just plug the Xbox into the big telly, the new telly in the living room, and the wife can sit and kind of, I don't know if she would get much out of it, because I know that it's like Keanu's in it, and it's kind of cool and cinematic. But
it has the potential, yeah, it's very cinematic. For the hours that I've played, it's very, there's a lot there's a lot there, but when it comes to the combat and there's a lot of driving in it as well. There's a lot of GTA driving.
The driving is not good. Yeah, as Neale said, it's GTA driving. It's not a great driving model.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's GTA driving model in a quite a heavy RPG kind of environment. So when you're going from mission to mission, collection point to collection point, you're having to do a lot of what should be fun, kind of like racing around the streets, that isn't as fun racing around the streets. I went around on a motorbike when I played my kind of major, when I got my 5 or 6 hours, 7 or 8 hours in, and I enjoyed kind of razzing around trying to jump over other bonnets of other cars and stuff like that. So yeah, you make your own fun.
About 8 to 9 hours tops. The combat, it was the least interesting bit to me. I just like being in that world. And
But the combat has got better. Since the patch, it seems it'll be the AI is a lot more responsive. Your gun just feels like it just feels a lot more deadly. Where you felt like you were kind of like throwing
pea shooter.
Yeah, like Spud gun kind of thing,
type,
and not Spud gun from Bottom, the other Spud gun.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you mentioned this just a few seconds ago, but as part of Game Pass, there is a trial, so you could try that. Yeah,
there was, I think, but I think wasn't it over just one weekend?
Oh,
or is it an ongoing thing? I don't know. I thought it was just over one weekend when they did the patch.
Okay, have a look.
Have a look, Matt.
I'll have a look.
Look into it, mate. It's good. So that's that. And then the other game that I've been playing, here we go, fucking kind of worms. I've been playing Destiny.
Yes, mate.
And yes, I've been playing The Witch Queen.
Yes, you have, mate. Is it good?
Well,
sue me,
apparently
bitch.
on that Facebook thing I'm not allowed to look at, there was some diatribe about this. Could you just remind us of the
I was
scores?
witch hunched. No, I was not witch queen. There was witch hunt after the last podcast, to be honest with you. So there was a poll went up pretty much a couple of days after the last recording went live, and it was in essence. I mean, let me not do it any injustice. Let me actually find what it says.
This would be fact. Actual fact.
So the poll read: has Neale broken the rules already? I mean, Jesus Christ! By having exchanged money to pre-order pre-order Destiny 2: The Witch Queen. Right. So the context of that, I'm not going to go too far into this. I didn't exchange money during the challenge, so that's one.
Firstly, who posted it?
It was Joe Middleton.
Of course.
Of course it was.
Bless. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to dwell on this too much, but there was basically three options. You could either say, no, Neale hasn't broken the rules already, or you could say, yes, he has broken the rules already, and there was a no, not if he uses it as his Joker. And I'm not going to lie, I studied this poll probably every 3 or 4 hours to see it change over a 2-week period. It meant a lot to me at the time. And for those that don't know the results, Neale hasn't broken the rules according to the majority of the community. So, and neither did I. I didn't think I broke the rules either.
That poll did fluctuate somewhat, didn't it?
Yeah, but also it fluctuated somewhat when people were putting, yes, Neale has broken the rules, and the reason why they put that is to make things interesting.
Yeah, that doesn't really count.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, I've been vilified on a podcast and on a Facebook group to be some sort of fucking wanker.
I'll be honest, Neale.
And and then it's like people going like, you know what? I'm going to make this interesting by voting against. It's like, do you do that when you vote for your local elections?
I'll just make this interesting.
I'll make this interesting. I'll vote for Trump.
That'll be a
Fuck
great
it.
idea.
Yeah. I wonder what the worst thing that would happen.
All I've got to say on this, and it's the last word I'll say, Neale, is, you've got some good friends in this community.
No, mate, I've got people that I'm friendly with that can see that it's not what you guys painted it out to be.
So,
okay,
are we saying then that this year is any money spent last year?
No, listen.
I can't do it in 2 months in a row. I can't.
Listen. I'm going to say one statement. I'm going to go things like cast your mind back to when we first set out, and whether it was the introductions or whatever it was. We said as a collective that we were going to do our own rules. Not that, yeah, fuck you, Dave. I can see what you're doing. You absolute fuck. We're going to do the rules that we set out individually. So Matthew is not playing the rules as in terms of, he's trying to sort out his unnecessary spend. Yeah? He's not trying to like not buy video games. Matthew's content in his main drive is to go, you know what? Actually, I spend too much on in and around gaming on things I don't need to spend for.
Yeah.
And my challenge this year is to and Joe's is completely different as well. So Joe's is not, okay, it's about not spending money unnecessarily, but Joe's got a kind of the motive of his friend's PS4 that he wants to go through.
Exactly.
We're doing it for different reasons. And we set out that actually this year, you know, the rules, inverted commas, we're going to like, right, okay, we'll live by our own rules. And we'll do our own rules, because after 10 years, it'd be really boring to listen to I did this 6 years ago. It'd be boring to listen to me do the same fucking rules again, wouldn't it?
The thing is,
and
Neale,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
You've already done those rules, and you've done it, and you beat it, and you be proud of yourself. And
my
you've
point
got your own
is,
rules this year, and nobody's going to hold anyone else to account apart from you're going to hold yourself to account if you feel you've wronged it. So don't worry.
The thing is, no, but I don't feel like I've wronged it, and I don't. And the people that voted in that vote, the majority won. Even though there was 18 people said that I'm not cheated. Even if you add up the people that said no and the people said yes, use your Joker, the people that said yes that hadn't cheated still outweigh. So people with common sense got through. Regardless, the thing is though, mate, is what I'm trying to say is I've not broken any rules.
I just tried to change it just to throw you off. Bollocks.
Yeah, you can't. Fuck you. To make things interesting.
Yep.
Thing is, you know, if we come and bring it down, is that look, to the brass tacks of it, you can't get a refund on DLC you've paid for. It's not a physical game that I can go, you know what, I'll cancel that Amazon order, or I'll cancel that CD key, you know, or I'll cancel that shop too, because I've pre-ordered it and I've pre-ordered 4 or 5 games. And actually, I can't pre-order them because even though I've paid for it last year, I can't use them that year. It's not that scenario. I pre-ordered something, I paid for it because I had every single exception to play it. I can't get a refund on it. If I could get a refund, I would possibly think about doing it. You can't get a refund on DLC, on expansion DLCs. It's not like I've ordered Starfield and I'm like, right, okay, Starfield's coming out, and screw you guys. I've already paid for it, but it's not a Joker because I've already paid for it last year, and I'm going to play it regardless. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even going down that route.
I thought you were on about that other one. What was that kick-started space exploration game that people spend like 900 quid on an actual spaceship?
I think Neale just said, didn't he? Isn't that Starfield?
No, Starfield's the Bethesda one.
The new Bethesda game studios.
On Game Pass as well, lads. We're laughing.
Yeah, but Matthew, again, I'm not pointing fingers. This is not a pointing fingers exercise. Matthew's paying for his subscriptions, and he's playing his subscriptions. So he mentioned it in the last podcast. He could play all the Hitmans if he wanted, because they're all on Game Pass.
Yep.
And that's how he's playing this year, because he's already bought it. But I'm not playing.
Yeah, I'm the only
games.
one who's saying no Game Pass titles that are.
No,
that
I've said it as well.
This year. Oh, okay.
I've said that as well. Okay. Yeah, so I've not played anything that's came out this year, even though I'm paying for this prescription.
The prescription.
Yeah, I'm paying for
I'd
it,
love
but
to
I've
be
not played
prescribed Game Pass.
Yeah, to cheer you up in life, here's an injection of fucking good games. I'm paying for it, but I'm not playing any of them, and I won't play. And I won't play Starfield when it comes out on Games Pass. If I use it as my Joker, I'll buy a copy for Steam or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And I'll do it. Do it that way. So people are playing this different ways. Nobody's kind of, you know, everybody's playing it in different kind of mannerisms and what have you. So, you know, I pre-order. It's not like a physical game that I can not pre-order. It was there. I was truthful throughout, and I think that's the reason why the people that voted the way they did saw that actually it was unavoidable.
Yeah, Neale, this is not confession. You don't have to.
It feels like it. Fucking hell! I got roasted.
Right. Well, how's this one for you? What about me? I play emulated arcade games all the time. So do I have to go out and buy an arcade board or something? No, I'm not going to. Of course not. Different rules.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, though, mate, and it is different. It was just. I think last episode and the ripples of last episode was very much a. Oh, somebody's knees trembled already. Somebody's. Oh, they couldn't even last a month, and it's like, well, no, you've not either not paid attention or you've not understood that actually it was unavoidable. But the thing is.
Right, I'm going to draw a line under this. There's no more arguing about the fact that you've got Witch Queen. What I want to know is...
It's really good.
How? But what
how?
Is Witch Queen?
It's for the Destiny players out there that listen to this, and even those that don't and are potentially interested, it's a very clever refresh of the Destiny series. You can tell that the instant way you know it's a good kind of starting point is that everybody jumps to a particular light level. So your experience for everything, no matter how good you were or how much time you poured into previous annotations or anything prior to Witch Queen, everybody jumps to the same, and all your guns jump to the same level as well. So everything you've got in your vault, everything that you've got on your person, they jump to the same extended light level. So you are literally starting from level 0.
Hands up, quick question on this. So, if we were to have a community bit of PvP action, is now a good time to do it before everybody leaps ahead?
I mean, right now, yes. I mean, obviously, there's the super nerds out there, but yeah, with Crucible and the kind of the Gambit and stuff like that, the PvE kind of events in Destiny, you get matched against your light level anyway. Yeah, but yeah, this is the time. If you've not played it for a while, or if you've not played it for years, this is the opportunity to go in and get in and actually starting to enjoy it.
Right. So essentially, they've nerfed everybody and put everyone back to level 0.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Because I never played Destiny enough to invest enough time to care about my loadout and my weapons. Is there anything about that reset? Is it an exciting reset, or is it like a?
It's when they moved. Well, I'm not the biggest Destiny nerd out there, but I played 1, and I played the first 6 months, 8 months of 2 when 2 came out, and when the transitions between the 2 games, when everybody lost all their light and all their weapons between the 2 games, there was uproar. People were like, "I've spent years of my life, months of my life, gaining all these things, all my vault, and now you've taken everything from me." When it moved from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2,
gamer entitlement. Right? Why shouldn't you do that between games?
But the thing is with this particular one, all your weapons with all your weapon perks are there. So if you've farmed a particular weapon type to get particular perks, that do particular things, so if you've got the Galahorn, for example, a famous rocket launcher that's within the game, and you've got the perk, you've managed to farm the one version of that rocket launcher Galahorn that you wanted. It's got all the perks. It goes up to that light level. If you play the game for about an hour and a half, you start getting weapons that are above that light level of Galahorn, and then you can convert your Galahorn upwards. You can craft it upwards and take it with you with all those perks.
Keep that journey going, I guess.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. And that becomes quite a lot of the thrill of looter shooters, isn't it? Loot drops, pick it up. Is it worth anything? If it's not, do I convert it? Do I use it to feed a weapon that you've already owned in your vault that you want to maintain its its effectiveness?
That concept of feeding is pretty good, because before it was just like dismantle. So feeding's cool.
Yeah, you feed it. Well, you do dismantle it. You dismantle the gun that you're getting rid of, but you're keeping the one that you want. Go on, Dave.
This is probably worth mentioning at this point. I thought I should check my purchase history pre-Christmas. And turns out that I bought the Destiny 2 anniversary pack. Have I played Destiny since? No. Do I know what's in it? No. This is iOS intervention.
So the thing is, I think that anniversary pack is like 16 quid or something. I think, isn't it? Something daft like that.
It's about 15 quid, something like that.
Yeah. So you've bought it. If you were to turn,
that's just money thrown away.
Yeah, but if you were to turn Destiny on tomorrow, just to say what the title screen looks like, you'd be in the same position that I'm in kind of now. You've bought something prior, and you're looking at it like currently. So yeah, but the thing is, the anniversary stuff is it's all extra kind of like weapon bits and bobs and just.
I saw the word Galahorn
like
and I wanted it because I had years of having fun with the one.
Yeah, mate, it is the Galahorn is just incredibly fun to use. So coming back to it, I mean, I don't want to turn this into too much, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. The Witch Queen is a really good expansion. I've only scratched the surface. Played. I was in a fire team with a couple of MLG people last night. It's really good. They've put some really good mechanics in it to keep it really interesting. So you can play the campaign missions of the expansion on normal difficulty, or you can play them on legendary, which is like a super hard kind of raid mode version. Cool. It gives double the rewards, double drops on loots if you kind of complete it. But one of the interesting mechanics, Dave, that you'll recognise. So if you're in a fire team of 3, when you're in a kind of in a section of a campaign or whatever you, where you can wipe. So if you don't get revived, if all of you die, you get wiped and you have to start the level again. Those things still exist, but you can only revive one person on your team once. So if I'm on with 2 other people...
so you got like the raid mechanics where you've only got X number of revives, full stop.
You have to... Yeah, exactly. So you have to remember who revived you last. So if you die a second time, if you get down to a second time, the second person has to come and get you.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, if they don't pick you up within 45 seconds, then you're permanently dead.
Yeah, I like that. So that's a good challenge.
So and not only does that as well, those legendary kind of levels within the campaign, they scale as well. So I played the first 3 or 4 levels on my own, really difficult, but got through them. Some really sweaty palm moments, but got through them. And then when I played with 2 of our friends last night, when I played with Dougie and Phil last night, it was super hard. But because there was 3 of us, it was easier. But because they were in there, it scaled as well. So like we were playing kind of much difficult kind of levels, but it was easier because we could teamwork particular areas.
The other thing is that you're on voice comms. It's going to be easier than doing it with randoms.
And since I played Destiny back in the day, do the concept of classes, do they complement each other? Can you like really work together? Because like the idea of regenerating light after doing a certain thing, so everybody else's special builds.
So to a certain extent, yes. I mean, the thing is that I play a warlock, which is kind of classed under the kind of healer kind of banner, if there is one within Destiny, and. Yeah, it is. You've got that ability to heal yourself. The recovery is really important for you because you do take you're not as mobile, or you've not got the strength, so you've not got the firepower or the punching power, whereas like the Titans, or the mobility of the hunters. So your kind of classification does bring you to recovery. And when you're in a team of 3 or 6, depending on what kind of player you are, then it is good to have a mix of. And they do complement, so you'll get your Titans being on the front line. So Phil and Dougie are both Titans, that they are up against the shotgunning kind of enemies, kind of drawing me into different areas, and I can be at the back, kind of using kind of scout rifles, chucking in health grenades and stuff like that to those guys as they're working on mobs and what have you. So yeah, you do get that kind of that RPG MMO kind of mentality to a certain extent, I suppose, in a way. But yeah, so the Witch Queen itself is a really interesting expansion. I'm glad I've got it. I will be playing it all year, and I regret nothing.
I don't blame you. Why wouldn't you play an excellent game that's super well supported with your best mates?
And the thing is without any kind of pre-knowledge of being part of the podcast and the challenge at all, it was going to be something that I wanted to play this year, just to kind of play with friends and have something to play throughout. So it was the reason why I chose to drop down on the expansion, having never played a previous expansion prior to my stint of last summer, where I kind of retrospectively kind of dropped on as much expansions as I could because I was eating it up last summer. So the last 5 or 6 years of Destiny 2, I didn't play anything in season. I didn't play any of the seasons, didn't play any of the content until last summer. Yeah. So it was kind of like, it was a snowball effect for me. So it's kind of like, well, I was going to do it. and then it luckily worked out to be a bit of a kind of a golden ticket, because it means it's a live service that changes every week to a certain extent in terms of its challenges, and I can play with my friends as well.
What's happened with those old seasons now? Are they obsolete?
They're obsolete, yeah. So I'm not. Yeah, basically that's what people say. I'm not very savvy to the ins and outs of Destiny, unfortunately, in terms of content and what happens and things like that. But yeah, basically, there's certain planets that are not and areas that are not accessible anymore, and certain exotic missions aren't available anymore. So if you didn't get that exotic weapon, because the thing is, there's a lot of people that take Destiny incredibly seriously. I don't. I just really enjoy it.
I'm thinking about it from another point of view. Right, so like, look at a player like me who's bought all the previous stuff, paid actual money, and now that content is no longer available. You can't play it. That is literally, your game has been binned.
Yeah, and that's the commitment you have to make, and that's the thing with the Witch Queen pre-order is, you've got to make a commitment, because part of that pre-order was not just the expansion campaign, but it comes with 3 seasons with it as well.
Yeah.
So this season takes you up till, I think it's April or May, and then there's 3 months for the next season, 3 months for the next season. So if you've got to play it, or say if I didn't play it, say if I took all the criticism last month or whatever seriously, and I was like, right, well, I won't play Destiny then, whatever. Then not only have I just spent £80 or £70 or whatever it was, but I'd lose out.
Literally thrown it away.
I've pissed it up the wall. Yeah. It's not just.
That's
it's not
why
like
I'm going to get my Galahorn now, Neale. I'm going to get it. Damn it!
But the thing is, it's not. Yeah, it's not like a normal game. Say if I pre-ordered, I don't know, Dying Light 2, for example, because that's one that came out a week or 2 ago. If I pre-ordered it but didn't play it, there's nothing timed event-wise around it that would mean that when I play it in 6 months' time or in 12 months' time, exactly. But unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, it worked out a different way. Anyway, come on, because we've been talking about this for fucking hours. Okay, so that's Destiny, guys. I won't bore you each month with updates of my progress, because it's not one of those games that you got to get to the end to. But I'm glad that it's there. I'm glad that it's got it, and it's going to be good.
I want to know that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, completely. I have, like I said, I've got zero regrets whatsoever. It's got a lot of longevity to it, and it's nice to be. When Destiny 1 first came out, I was like, right, this is my first MMO live service game. I've never played. I didn't do World of Warcraft. I didn't do any of that kind of stuff. But prior to Destiny, I was like, yes, this is my entry level. And because I fell behind because of not being involved in raids and seasons and things like that, I was like, I soon kind of fell off. But this is my kind of like, yeah, hurrah, this is it. So we've talked about video games for quite some time, so I think we need to wrap up, I think. So I want to first off to apologise to everybody that submitted a question that I raised on the Facebook group this week. We've simply run out of time to address them. I think that what we'll do is gather 1 or 2 of us, if not all of us, for a bit of a mini podcast in the next week or 2, and we'll just do it. We'll answer what we've got. They're all still valid. The questions will still transfer over to next month. They're not all about what do you think?
It's like a live service, isn't it? It all transfers over, but everyone gets reset to 0 again. So all your questions are as important as each other.
They're all in part of Season of the March.
Don't forget, we'll be putting the Patreon up shortly.
No, but I think just wanted to apologise that we didn't address them now, but we will definitely get round to them. So I think we need to wrap up where we are. Look, we've not talked about a lot of the video games that have come out. So we've not talked about Elden Ring. We've not talked too much about kind of Dying Light 2. We've not talked, even though I really wanted to talk about them because they're massive, especially with Elden Ring being released today, the day of recording. But even more so, I think that's the reason why we should probably have a recording in a week or so's time. Are you guys up for that? If we can get everything all sorted,
damn straight.
We'll just do a bit of a mini catch up, extended edition. So let's wrap up then. So, what's your thoughts and feelings, Dave, at the moment? Are you still on board? Are you still...
I'm super on board. I've realised I've got more stuff than I can possibly play in a lifetime, let alone worrying about the next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you still with it, Matt? Are you still getting a kick out of what you're up to, and still, mate? You must be seeing so much financial benefits so far.
Well,
It's only going to get better.
well, no, because I've actually spent more money, haven't I? Because I've preloaded. Preloading is your expense. So
Fuck.
over time, do I have to explain
Yeah.
how months work?
Maybe. Let's see if we can bookend that as an internet as a podcast link. Okay, so let's wrap up then. So we want to thank all of you for listening. Thank you very much for your time you've spent with us. I hope in these dark and horrible times we've given you a little bit of a light, a bit of a laugh. 4 guys sat around a computer drinking heavily and talking about video games. You've got to cheer somebody up somewhere. We are. I'm going to do the domestics. Check me off the top of my head. Basically, the domestics are dead easy for this podcast. Just search for Year of Shame everywhere. So, Facebook group. If you just search Facebook for Year of Shame Challenge, there's a group on there. You'll know it's our group by the old school test card, TV test card as the image. That's where you can get involved if you want to be part of the challenge. If you want to actually limit your kind of spendage, you can join late. You don't have to do the full 12 months. You don't have to be idiots like we do. Like we are, should I say, grammatically. So that's Facebook. I'm not trusted to have any kind of Twitter admin rights. I think that's been known from previous tweets I've tried to do on MLG as a community manager. So I would imagine that the Twitter is exactly the same. So Year of Shame Challenge. Look for that. And then YouTube. This podcast not only comes to your ears in your usual podcast methods. If you can't be arsed, it's on YouTube as well. One day we might actually have to do a visual podcast. We might actually have to brush his hair.
Jesus!
It might be like a Teams call that you do at work, but you're in your pajamas.
Where's that gorgeous button that I found last time? I'll press that if we're going live.
Yeah,
we need the purple
filter
eyebrows
on full. Yeah, but it might be quite funny. We do at one point. Dave's alluded to it a couple of times in this recording and previously. We do want to do some streaming. Just for you guys to get a bit interactive and just get a bit of bits and bobs. And again, streaming is via the Twitch channel, which if you just search for Year of Shame Challenge, you'll find us with the most recent ones in there. I think a lot of the guys from last year, from year 9, are kind of got that kind of busy and heavy for us. So yeah, that's how you can get in touch if you want to. We'll put another post up for questions, comments, and kind of queries when we get around. But I think that's kind of how you can get involved. Just be nice to us all if you don't mind.
Be nice. How
just
lovely.
be nice. Be kind.
Remember, everyone, don't be violent on Facebook.
Yeah. Don't do as we do.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. Speak to you later. Bye.
Superb clap.
Yeah. Oh. See what I've said this before. I am quite naive. What is the clap? I know it's like a slang for a sexual disease. But what sexual disease is it short for?
Is it gonorrhea? I think it's gonorrhea. I have to, as part of my contract of employment, I occasionally have to tell people what this is.
Right. The reason being is...
But say that in the weirdest way possible, though.
Yeah, I have to tell people. Occasionally, I have to tell them what it is.
I feel like Neale's missed an important part of his upbringing.
Mate, honestly.
Gonorrhea.
Is it gonorrhea? Yeah. And the reason why I ask is...
Survey says...
Gonorrhea!
God, I nearly gave too much away then. That training I've been on was absolutely paying off now. Anyone know what blue waffle is? A blue waffle? Anyone else been in a room full of 30 teenagers asking you, what's blue waffle? In the context of, I don't know what blue waffle is.
Joe, I turned 49 this month. Do you think I know what that means?
It's not like a Snapchat thing or on the TikTok. It's some sort of sexual disease.
Fuck off.
Oh well.
Blue Waffle. I can't even mind. So the reason why I ask is that every time somebody says the clap, I think back to a story when I was about 18, 19. A friend of mine in the town that I grew up in, not seen him for a week or two. Not been out around the pubs drinking with us as usual. And when he did turn up, he didn't look well, and he admitted that he'd caught something, the clap, and he had to go to an STD clinic, and he had to have the tube down his urethra, and the kind of umbrella open up and pull it back and pull out all the scrapings of his cock tube.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Yeah, and he said that it was literally as painful as it sounds.
Oh man!
And he didn't sleep for like 3 days afterwards because no matter what he did, his penis was basically volcanic.
I mean, well, how do you get that? Who have you got to fuck to get that?
By sleeping with some dirty bitches.
That's what I imagine Captain Kirk's knob is like, absolutely riddled.
It's one massive mushroom, isn't it? Like a toxic mushroom.
It's me!
It's just got nothing left. Surely he's used it that much, and it's that fucking riddled with toxins. It's got gas comes out the bottom of it or something. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be. Yeah, so no, it just every time somebody mentions it, I don't actually know what it really means, but it always reminds me of that story, and it just, wear a condom, guys.
How have you been curious about it for any length of time without just Googling what is the clap?
I've got too much on my plate, Joe. Doing stuff like that. I ain't got time for that shit.
Well, that's that.
I know what I'll do. I'll wait until I've got some real experts in.
Yeah, you all look like you had the fucking the clap, so I thought I'd ask you fuckers.
If Matt's not got it, he's given it.
Yeah, exactly. He's passed it on. Can you get like a non-evasive clap? Like thingy bob. What is it? He's on an episode of Peep Show where Jez passes around an STD and he's like, well, he was symptomless. Like that matters. Like that makes it any better.
The irony is, I think that is actually the clap.
Ah, okay.
No, it's not, is it? It's
That's chlamydia.
Chlamydia, there you go.
I nearly said clematis, but I think there's clematis in the back garden.
Now's our chance.
Clematis, isn't that something in your ear?
No, clematis
Like one of the
plant.
Go on.
It's a plant in it in the back garden. Anyway, Dave, you were saying something about midlife gamers.
Yeah, I was going to say, perhaps there are more midlife people in our community that also don't know. Now is our chance to grossly misinform them.
Maybe there's a feature we should have about midlife knowledge, things they need to know but have missed in school. Like, what is the clap? What?
Yeah.
Maybe we need some sort of sexual health education.
Don't get me started. There's loads of things. There's loads of things I don't know, but I've been too embarrassed to ask. And I'm not having this as a feature of this fucking podcast. No,
let's help Neale.
Just one more. Just one more, please.
No, you can.
I won't ask for anything else.
Yeah, until the next episode, and then you want me to take? No, absolutely not.
I think that would be an excellent feature, Neale.
It's not, but that's not what this podcast is about, is it?
It is now.
No, we've got to stick to the real important issues in gaming, like Russ Abbott's current whereabouts.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what? I've scoured the news this week, and there's literally no Russ Abbott news to report on, other than he hasn't cocked it.
There's no Russ Abbott news.
Is it a slow news week? I didn't think it was.
It's a slow Abbott week. It's a slow
Not
Abbott
slow
week.
news week at all this week.
It's absolutely the
needs
worst
to chill out.
subreddit
Too much news.
I've ever been on. The Russ Abbott subreddit.
We need to post some links to this podcast in it, get some more listeners.
Get some traction.
I'm getting him on. Before the end of the year.
He's not on Cameo, is he?
I would die. No, we checked this last time, didn't
He's not
we?
on Cameo.
We checked it last time. I don't think I wouldn't be able to attend. You never meet your hero, should you?